woke up this morning and the first thing I thought of was, what's my happy place today? Where is my happy place today? Where is our happy place coming for this next week? You know, I really try to never say, I'll be happy when. I think you have to be careful with those choice of words. It makes happiness seem as if it's so far and distant and is something that we are chasing. And I'm sure we've all been in an experience where we said we will be happy when I get this, and then we get it. We feel a rush of happiness, right? We feel glory. But then what? You know, that happiness fades away. So when I woke up this morning and I asked myself, where's my happy place? What's going to make me happy today? Not when. Today. You know, over the past week, my theme was rejuvenation, and that's truly what made me happy. Was rejuvenating oneself. Was doing what I felt my body and my mind and my spirit needed. When I woke up today, I said, I feel rejuvenated, but my happy place now is in the execution, you understand? I want to build a new podcast intro. I have some new video ideas I want to get. I want to work on some of my design for some things I'm working on. My happy place is in that. And it's not when I complete these things. It's in the process. It's in the incremental steps. I never like to say, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I have this business launched. I'll be happy when I'm in a relationship. I'll be happy when I have this much money in the bank account. No. You see, understand? When we say I'll be happy when, we put up blind spots in our vision. And we miss what's between the lines. We're looking at a goalpost of happiness, seeing it, chasing it, not realizing all the opportunities around us today. All the opportunities around us to cultivate the happiness. Because we can cultivate our happiness, you understand? So if I said, hey, I am happy when I am traveling. I am happy when I'm at music festivals and I'm with my friends at my favorite coffee shop. You know, but a lot of these activities we still can't do right now. So move that goalpost. Take down those blind spots and widen your perspective. Open your spectrum. Where's your happy place today? What can you do today that will bring a little bit more happiness out of you? Notice I didn't say inside of you, bringing happiness into you. I'm saying bringing happiness out of you. Because I'm a firm believer that we cultivate these energies within. You know, I always say, I think we bring meaning to life. I don't think it's the other way around. A lot of times they say, hey, look for the meaning in life, look for the meaning in life. And I'm saying, hey, I think you are the meaning. Like, you make life meaningful. I mean, we've seen celebrities, we've seen people who have these lives that seem so wonderful. And we've seen them take their own life. It seems as if they have a meaningful life, doesn't it? They have purpose. They're inspiring people, they're making money. But yet, they decided to leave. So is meaning in life, or do we bring meaning to life? I think we bring meaning to life by recognizing our presence as purpose. I always say 2 people could watch the sunset. One person could be sitting there basking in all its glory, all its warmth, all its light. And another person could be there on their phone stressing on TikTok that they don't have enough followers. Both are there in the same situation, but both of them are having a different experience. One is having a meaningful experience and the other Well, who knows what kind of experience they're having. It doesn't seem very meaningful to me. Does it? So when I wake up and I say, where's my happy place today? It's not tomorrow. It's not 3 years from now. No, it's today, because there's always an opportunity today to cultivate that happiness. Why do I love tea so much? Because I make it meaningful. That's me making something within my day, every single day, meaningful. As simple as a cup of tea is, that's how simple it is to cultivate just a little bit of happiness, or a whole lot of happiness. It's an idea, it's a reminder, it's an affirmation every day for me that, hey, the meaning is where you place it. You create meaning throughout your day. I'll be happy when. No. Our happy place is within. I talked about Peter the other day in the movie Hook, Peter Pan, right? When he was learning how to fly and he had to go save his kids, the only thing that would get him up to go and fly is he had to go to his happy place. And like I said, where did he go? He went within. And he thought about his mother, he thought about his kids, he thought about the things that made him happy. Even though he was in a stressful situation, his kids are kidnapped by Hook. He's in a land he's not even used to anymore. He's not with his wife, he's stressed out, he's out of shape, he's old. But he went within, and he felt that warmth, and he generated happiness within himself. And that happiness was a force that lifted him up into the sky. That is a great metaphor of the opportunity we have every single day. It's not, I'll be happy when. It's simply, where do I want to put my happiness today? Because we have happiness within us. We have meaning within us already. You bring meaning to life. That's the switch, you understand? That's the switch. Instead of walking around life, searching for purpose, searching for meaning, like, oh my God, that's stressful. Instead, my presence has purpose. Say that to yourself, my presence has purpose. You see how good that feels? You understand? So some may think that seems cocky, but to me, no, that seems like
my presence has
gratitude. You understand? That's nothing but gratitude for you being here. I am the meaning. Oh, how good does that feel? Say it with your chest, you know what I'm saying? I am the meaning. And I bring meaning to life. I bring meaning to my relationships. I create meaning within my family. We are reflections of one another. I and I, we are all equal. I see myself in you. You see yourself in I. You understand? These are the perspective shifts of life. The thing is, truth is truth. And when you make that perspective shift, you feel its power, you feel its light, and you're like, oh, it's as if I know this is true to me. It's as if I know this is real. It's as if this is my happy place. This is my natural form, my natural state. That's because you already know what is within you. But there are so many things in our world right now, in our life, that distract us from our happy place. They taught us that we should say, I'll be happy when. They taught us that everything was outside of us. They taught us to chase. They taught us to compare. Compare to who? You understand? Compare to nobody. I woke up today and I said, where's my happy place today? And I made my cup of tea. Oh, there you are, happy place. There you are. Where's my happy place today? It's in my execution. Oh, let's get focused. We're in a flow state now. There you are, happy place. There you are, happy place. You understand? It's in life. I am Heinz, and today in Hindsight, this is your daily cup of tea. I haven't said that in a minute, I feel like. Daily Cup of Tea. That was like the unofficial intro for the podcast. I haven't made an official intro for the podcast as of yet, and we're pretty much moving into a year. I'm not sure the exact date for the anniversary of this podcast. I'm gonna have to check it out, but I know it's coming up soon, so we're gonna have to have a special episode for that day. I truly feel like this is the people's podcast, you know? Like, I truly do. Like, I feel like it's everybody's. It's the people's. You understand? And, like, different episodes are, like, for different people. And it's just a beautiful thing how this came together. And it came together in a space of trying to survive, right? In the midst of a pandemic. But I also realized what we did to survive isn't going to be the same as what we do to thrive. The things that we did to survive aren't going to look the same as the things that we do now to thrive, right? You know, we've all been in a space of having to survive. We may be in a space of having to survive. And sometimes when we are in these spaces, it calls for, drastic measures. Less sleep, right? Sometimes we have to make sacrifices in our life. We don't see the people we love as much, whatever it may be, because we're trying to make ends meet. We're trying to bring something into the world. Maybe we're in school. We're in lockdown, right? We're trying to survive. But you have to remind yourself, and it's very important to know, that it's not going to look like that forever. That the efforts you are putting in to survive will compound over time. And you will be able to grant yourself the time and the space. And you will be able to create a new model to thrive, right? Like, when we are surviving, we are building the foundation. Even when we are just surviving within our own mind, surviving mentally, right? Some of us feel like we are just surviving, trying to make ends meet in our own mind, dealing with the anxieties, dealing with the uncertainties, dealing with the worries, right? And we are simply just surviving, and it doesn't feel like enough. That's okay. We will all go through a space and time where we are surviving, just surviving, doing what we have to do. I know what it feels like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what it feels like to just work 50 to 70 hours a week, and still at the end of the month when I pay my rent, I have like $5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that feeling for years and years and years, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I just know what it feels like to survive. But something I've learned recently is what we do to survive isn't going to look the same as what we do to thrive. Now, when we thrive, I'm personally in a space now where I believe I can start to thrive, right? I believe for a long time I've been surviving in many different ways. And when it comes to content, even so, like, when you are creating content online and you are working to be felt, for people to discover what you are bringing into this world, it can feel like you are fighting through the algorithms, or you are fighting just for your content to be discovered. And that happens through consistency, through commitment over the years. You understand? Experimenting, being vulnerable, right? Like, shedding layers of yourself, being vulnerable, doing all these things can feel very much so like you are just surviving, because it could be an uncomfortable situation to be in. And I was thinking yesterday, little insights into my own content creation mind. I was thinking yesterday, I was like, how many videos should I put out on YouTube? How many videos should I put out on TikTok? And I'm thinking about what I did in 2020, because 2020 was the year majority of you discovered my platforms. And I'm like, well, on TikTok I was posting a lot. I was doing like 2 to 3 posts a day. YouTube, we were consistent sometimes. Instagram, we were posting a lot. Podcast 5 days a week. There was a time in 2020 where I was posting on every single platform every single day. We were in a pandemic. We were trying to survive. I was like, man, there's a lot of negativity out there. And in the past few years, I've cultivated a lot of positive energy that I feel like I've just been sitting on. So let me share this. You understand? Like, I felt like as a nation, as a community, as a world, we were just trying to survive. And I wanted to offer whatever I could in those moments. And as I was thinking last night, okay, I'm going to put out this many videos, and I'm going back to my old models of what I did to survive and what I'm going to implement now. And I get a random message on Instagram.
somebody that's never messaged me before, somebody that doesn't even follow me. And all they said was, less videos, more production. And normally if someone says something like that to me, I would just like scrub it off. I'd be like, you don't, like, how do you know what my process is right now? But because of the timely fashion, when I was thinking exactly how many videos I should put out on my YouTube and on TikTok, and then this woman out of nowhere messages me and says, less videos, more production. To me, I'm like, oh, cha. I'm going to take it as a sign from the angels. And I realized in that moment, yeah, what we did to survive isn't what we're going to do to thrive. You understand? Like when you are in a space of surviving, you are building your foundation. You are doing everything you need to do to build your strength, to build your resilience. But remind yourself, these moments where you feel like you are just having your back against the wall and you are trying to survive and you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel, this is for when you enter that season when you will thrive. Because you will be able to move with grace, have that strength and resilience, and you will be able to grant yourself more time and space and apply your energy in the areas you truly want to apply it now. You know, some of us don't get to nourish different parts of our lives because simply we are caught up in so many different ways, right? We may be working a lot. We may have a lot of responsibilities and we simply don't have the time to nourish different areas. It's not going to be like that forever. What we are doing to survive isn't going to be the same as what we do to thrive. When you start to thrive, you can grant yourself the opportunity to dive into some of those new hobbies, you understand? Maybe nurture some new relationships. That's what I said. I was like, yo, this summer, I want to nurture new relationships. Like, let me explore. I'm buying a kayak this summer. I'm enjoying myself this summer because I haven't enjoyed a summer in like 5 years because I've been surviving every year. Every summer shooting like crazy, editing like crazy inside on my computer. And I said, you know what? This summer, I don't have to survive. This summer, I'm going to thrive. Maybe this summer, I'm going to fall in love. I literally said that the other day. I was like, you know what? I think this summer is a good summer to maybe fall in love for the summer. Have a crush for the summer. You understand? A little summer love. I'm just playing. Or am I? Who knows? What we do to thrive isn't going to be the same as what we do to survive. And I think about all the moments where I was in pure survival mode. And I'm like, man, I love those moments looking back on it in hindsight because I could see what it's done. And although, yeah, there's still many areas I personally am going to have to survive in and still work ridiculously hard. But I realize it's not the same as it was before. We are in a space where we can thrive. Every single one of us, I am sure, there's a space in your life where you can move from survival into now starting to thrive, right? You just have to make that shift. Like, hey, I don't have to do things the same way I was doing them. You know, it's like when you start a new job, in the beginning, you're doing so much to prove yourself, right? To certify your position within that company, within that organization, within that team. Then it comes a point where you have proven yourself. And although you're not going to become complacent, you're not going to give up, you're not going to slack off, no. But what you did to survive, when you were working 14-hour days, when you were doing the overtime, when you were bringing your boss a coffee 5 times a day, you don't have to do that no more. Because what you did to survive isn't going to look the same as what you do to thrive. Now when you're thriving, maybe you are a partner in that company, you understand? Maybe you're a boss within that company and you have people working for you. Now you are teaching other people. Now you're able to grant yourself some more time and space. Maybe you have a beautiful office now with a window view. You know, when we build relationships in the beginning, sometimes it takes more effort. Sometimes it takes more strength and resilience to give that relationship the nourishment it needs to actually be something. And then over time, that relationship takes a life of its own and it knows how to operate. Both people know each other's boundaries. They know how to communicate, and now they can truly thrive. And again, we do not become complacent. We do not give up. It's just thriving is a different model. Thriving is a different motion. And when we are surviving so we know how to thrive. And you don't know in hindsight, everything gonna be alright. It's a vibe thing. And again, what you do to survive isn't going to look the same as what you do to thrive. If there's anything I have a very polarizing relationship with, I think it would have to be pressure, right? On one hand, I love pressure. Like, I love to feel pressure because the way I'm able to work when my back is against the wall, like when something is due, like it doesn't matter what is going on in my life, I will complete it. I will go beyond measures to make sure it gets done to perfection. But then also, feeling constant pressure can be such a weight to bear all the time. And I know we feel constant pressures in so many different areas, in so many different ways, let it be with school, work, relationships, demands, right? The way society wants us to show up. We feel pressured to speak up for this cause. We feel pressured to be this type of woman, this type of man. Like, there's constant pressures throughout the whole day. And we all know the famous saying, pressure creates diamonds. And we know that, you understand? We know there is good pressure in our lives that will put us to the test and bring the best out of us. But how do we know when the pressure we feel is unnecessary? When it's simply self-inflicted pressure that is serving no purpose in the moment except simply breaking us. Because that's true too, right? Sometimes we feel pressured to do something and we're not even able to use that pressure. Like I always say, when you feel pressured, you have two options. That feeling of feeling pressured, that could be an opportunity because that's a force, right? That's an energy. Like when you feel pressured to do something, it's very hard to just sit on your couch and do nothing. Like if you have a paper due tomorrow, or if you have a presentation due at work tomorrow, and it's 11 p.m. at night, and you haven't started, you're gonna, regardless, that force is just gonna take you and throw you into your task. Hopefully, a lot of us are much more responsible and we don't leave everything to the last minute, as I do sometimes. But pressure can be a force. It can be a force that we can use. It can be a gift. It can be an opportunity. But some of the pressure that we feel is this self-inflicted pressure that we've added onto ourselves for no apparent reason. For me lately, one of my favorite things has been just relieving pressure, releasing the pressure that I feel when I don't need to be feeling it, giving myself that grace, that break to nourish self, and then go accomplish whatever I feel I have to do. One of my favorite people in the world is Bobby McFerrin. He is just probably, to me, the most amazing musician and just an amazing human being. And he had a huge single at one point, a song that doesn't even reflect the music he makes. It's just one of those songs that went and took a life of its own. But he had this massive song in the world one day, and normal convention would be you have a hit song and you go and you tour the world and you go and do all these interviews and you go and just dominate, right? Now all this pressure is there, you're in the limelight, go. He did the exact opposite. He had this hit single and then he disappeared. He went home, he chilled with his family. People actually thought he committed suicide. They thought he was gone because no one could ever fathom who would just disappear when they have a hit single out. That's when you're supposed to go take over the world. But he went home and he just took care of himself. Regardless of the pressures of the world, he said innately inside, he knew the pressure was unnecessary and he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be at home in his quiet and his peace, and he started to work on another avenue of his creativity. And I can relate to that, I relate to that even as of recently, as all my social profiles have been growing and growing. My YouTube, 200,000 in the past month. Instagram grew. Everything was growing. And normal convention for me would be, let's go extra hard. Let's put out as much content as possible. The last few weeks, I've just been like, no, I'm just gonna go at the pace I want to go. People around me are like, now's the time to strike. And I'm like, we're not striking nothing. We move with grace. You understand? I know when to apply pressure and I know when to release it now. It's a polarizing relationship. And one of the most powerful things you can do is learn when to be hard on yourself and when to be soft on yourself, right? So you're hard on yourself so you achieve and you get the things you want to get done in this world and you don't become complacent. but you're able to apply enough grace when necessary, and also don't become too complacent, right? And it's a fine balance. It's taken me a very long time, but there was a moment, longer than a moment, years, where I didn't know how to just kind of rest sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I always felt pressured, and of course, society will make you pressured, right? Your bills will make you feel pressured. Of course, like there's so many things that make us feel pressured. But sometimes we can't bear the weight of that pressure in the moment, especially if you can't do anything about it, right? If you're stressing about something 3 weeks from now, and in the moment you cannot do anything about it, I always say that pressure isn't doing anything for you. You might as well apply yourself some grace right there. Tell yourself, hey, everything's going to be all right, and create an actionable plan to be able to use that pressure and overcome whatever you're looking at, right? Like, I think pressure is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to achieve, but it also could be an opportunity to release. Every time you feel pressure doesn't mean you're supposed to pounce on whatever you feel pressured to do. That's up to you to make that decision. Monday, I felt super pressured to make a video, but I also wasn't feeling very good. And I said, you know what? I've granted myself the time and the space. I'm chilling. I'm like, I am chilling. And I felt so much better because of it, you know? And then you can create the energy and apply it to whatever you're doing with, you know, grace and creativity and that raw essence that we all carry within us, right? Like, I don't believe pressure is there to break you. No, we already know pressure is there to create diamonds. You understand? That the pressure we feel in life is an opportunity to turn us into our best version of ourselves. Let it be if we are supposed to achieve something in that moment and overcome and do it and apply all our energy and our forces and release it that way. Or let it be if we're supposed to be like, hey, this pressure I am feeling right now is unnecessary, and I'm simply going to release it myself. I'm going to use the force of my free will and release this pressure and apply some grace to my process, or the pressure that this individual or my family or whoever is applying some unnecessary pressure that is bearing weight on top of me, that is not serving me. I am going to release that. You know, it's a polarizing relationship. Being able to be hard on yourself enough so you accomplish, but being able to apply grace when necessary to be able to nourish yourself, you know. It's not a flick of a switch. It's going to take times. We're going to beat ourselves up a bunch of times, and we're going to learn, hey, it doesn't feel good when I beat myself up this much. It doesn't feel good when I apply this much pressure. How about I apply some grace to my process? And then you'll see how that serves you. When I say grace, I mean like forgiveness. I mean, you know, a softer touch. I mean, using the affirmations that everything is going to be all right, and then allowing things to flow, right? Because my favorite force, beyond pressure, beyond push, pull, whatever it may be, is flow. Is to be in the flow of things, you understand? Is to be just working through things, growing through things, and allowing things to be. But even to be in that space of a flow, that is a process in itself. And you don't know in hindsight everything gonna be alright. When you feel pressure today, use it. Use it to achieve, or use it as an opportunity to release. Whatever it may be, I don't think pressure is here to break us. I think pressure is here to serve us and turn you into the diamond that you already know that you are. Bless